Hey everyone, welcome back. And in this video, let's talk about a concept of data hiding. Okay, and we'll also be talking about getters and setters. Okay, so just in case you are wondering that if we are going really fast in this, don't worry. These concepts like constructors, getter setters, data hiding, and the pillars are really small. Okay, so understanding them is really easy, and in depth we'll be understanding them when we'll be doing questions in the upcoming videos. So don't worry upon that. And one thing, I'm a kind of person who likes to learn by building projects. So we'll be building some basic and some advanced projects in the upcoming videos. So don't worry if we are going really fast. Just the thing is, whatever I show you on the screen and whatever I share, like whatever I say, just that thing should be understood, and that's all you need to proceed. Okay, so in this video we'll be talking about data hiding in getters and setters. So what is that? Now, before starting with data hiding in getters and setters, let's talk about one thing, that is access modifiers. Okay, now access modifiers, can you see this public keyword here, this public? Now this public keyword is an access modifier, basically something that can modify some access. So like we have three types of access modifiers. We have public, we have private, and we have protected. Now in this video, let's talk about public and private, and for protected, we'll do it on some other video. So what is public and what is private? In simple terms, private, which means that is not publicly accessible, and public, which is publicly accessible. For example, we have two data members here. Basically, we have two properties here. And by default, like I haven't specified any public or private. So by default, these are public. Now how to verify that yes, these both of the data members are public? If I say Piyush dot, you can see that I'm getting access to the age, right? I can modify the age, and I'm also getting the access to the name, correct? Now because they are public by default, that's why I'm able to change the values. I'm able to alter them. What if I say that hey name, now you are private? Okay, now see what happens if I say that Piyush, you're okay. So now name is not coming in the list, right? Because we have made name as private. If I say name equals to Piyush, you can already see that there is an error. That name is a private field. Okay, name is a private field, and you cannot access private members out of the class. Okay, now why are we even making a data member private when we can't even access it, correct? So in Java, basically not in Java already, if I talk about oops, there is a method, like there is a concept known as getters and setters. Now whenever you do this, okay, so we were doing this. Now this is a really wrong way to deal with data members. A user of this class, basically like I am a user, correct, should not have direct access to the data members. This is a really wrong practice. What you should do is, you should always make your data members private. Okay, you should always make your data members private. But now the question arises, how to interact with these variables? Like I want to print the name of the user, or I want to change the name. So for that, you should have something known as getters and setters. Now what are getters and what are setters? Now getters basically means to get the value, and setters are something to set the value. Let's say this is a name, correct? Now I want to create a getter and a setter for the name. So what I will do, I'll create a method, basically a method. I'll say void, okay, void set name, and this particular method will have a name argument, and I'll say this dot name equals to name, simply. And if I want to get this value, I'll say string, basically the return type. I'll say get name. And in this, what I'll say return this dot name. That's it. Now see what I can do. I can say that hey Piyush, your name is Piyush Garg now, okay? And just in case I want to get the name out, like I want to print the name, I'll say Piyush dot get name. Correct? Now if I run this code, you can see everything is working fine. So now this Piyush object does not have the direct access to the data members, correct? Now what Piyush object has to do is basically interact with these some data members, data functions or methods, I can say, the getters and setters, in order to alter the value. Now what is the benefit of this? First of all, it makes our code readability very easy. Like you can see that it is already looking really beautiful, that Piyush.set name, Piyush.get name, right? And secondly, I can have some level of security. Okay, so basically I have a wrapper around the data member, and I can have some security, like who can access my name and who can set my name. And similarly for age also, what you can do, you can say that hey void set age. It takes an integer age, and what this says that hey this dot age equals to age. And similarly I can say that integer get age, and I'll say return this dot age. So now I can do the same thing for the age as well, that hey Piyush, your age is 22, and hey Piyush, can you tell me your age? Yeah, why not? Sure. So go ahead and say Piyush dot get age, correct? And now if I run the program, you can already see that I'm getting 22 on the screen, and great. Now in IntelliJ, there is a one great method to do all this thing. Okay, so we have coded these things on our own. What you can do is highlight these both of the variables, right click. Now there is a like this command, like you can even say command N for generate, and there is a getter and setter option. Now as soon as I click on this, select both of the variables, and I say okay, boom, automatically my get name, set name, and everything is set up. Okay, now as you can see, we have a get name, we have a set name, then we have a get age, and we have a set age. So IntelliJ is really powerful in doing these kind of things. So it is handy if you have like so many data members, right? And I don't want to just repeat my code again and again and again. So that's how you have to use the access modifiers, private and public. So if you don't give anything, it's private, or you can explicitly say that public. Okay, it doesn't matter, but we'll always and always keep our data members as private, and we'll be setting getters and setters and our methods to be public. So that was all about getters, setters, and access modifiers in this video. So let's meet you in the next video. Until then, bye bye, take care.